Most people think vision loss is something that just comes with age. But what if I told you it's not your eyes that are failing, it's your circulation and your nutrition? I'm Dr. Allison Ray, and after more than 30 years in practice, I've seen hundreds of patients restore clarity and focus, not with surgery or glasses, but by feeding their eyes the way nature intended. Tonight, I want to show you how 4 simple nuts can help your body repair vision naturally while you sleep. Because your eyes aren't getting older, they're waiting to be nourished. Let's begin. When we talk about vision decline after 60, most people imagine one simple thing: failing eyes. They think it's just age catching up. The lens hardens, the retina weakens, and that's that. But here's the truth: your eyes don't live separate lives. They're extensions of your brain, built from the same tissue, sharing the same blood supply and the same oxygen flow. The optic nerve is not a wire connecting two organs, it's a living bridge. So when your brain slows down, your eyes do too. When your blood flow weakens, the tiny vessels feeding the retina struggle to deliver nutrients. And when that delivery system starts to falter, your vision begins to fade, not because you're old, but because your body isn't being properly nourished anymore. And what causes that slowdown? It's not just time. It's a silent trio I see in nearly every patient over 60. Nutrient depletion, sluggish circulation, and oxidative stress. Over the years, small deficiencies in zinc, selenium, vitamin E, and omega-3s gradually weaken the tissues that form your retina and lens. Reduced blood flow means less oxygen reaching those delicate photoreceptor cells that help you see color, contrast, and motion. And oxidative stress, those tiny reactive molecules that build up from poor diet, pollution, and stress, begin to scar the very surface that catches light. Now here's the part almost no one realizes. The real damage doesn't happen while you're awake. It happens while you sleep. Think about that for a second. Nighttime is supposed to be your body's restoration mode. Your brain cleans out toxins, your cells rebuild, your blood brings oxygen to heal the tissues that worked all day. But when your body doesn't have the right nutrients before bed, when the fuel tank is empty, those repair cycles can't run. Instead of rebuilding, your eyes simply pause the healing process. That's why you might wake up with puffy, tired eyes or that cloudy, hazy feeling when you first look at the morning light. It's not just fatigue, it's a sign your eyes didn't get repaired overnight. And that's where evening nourishment becomes a quiet superpower. What you eat before bed doesn't just fill your stomach, it sends raw materials directly to the repair systems that restore your eyes and brain while you rest. The right foods can actually help your body do what it already wants to do: renew, rebuild, and protect. So tonight, instead of going to sleep empty, imagine giving your body the precise nutrients it needs to restore clear vision naturally. Let's look at the first nut, small, humble, and incredibly powerful, that can begin to change everything. If there's one nut that deserves far more attention when it comes to eye health and cognitive longevity, it's the walnut. Most people see it as a snack, maybe something you sprinkle on oatmeal or salads. But inside that familiar shell lies one of nature's most powerful forms of brain and eye nourishment, a perfect blend of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid or ALA. Here's why that matters. Your brain and eyes are built from the same fatty tissue. They share similar membranes, electrical pathways, and an enormous need for oxygen and stable blood flow. These organs are made of over 60% fat, and not just any fat, but the kind that keeps your cells flexible, your signals sharp, and your energy constant. After 60, however, this balance begins to shift. The body becomes less efficient at absorbing essential fatty acids, and blood vessels lose some of their elasticity. As a result, circulation to the retina and optic nerve slows down, and the delicate communication between your eyes and your brain, what we call visual processing, starts to falter. That's where walnuts come in. Think of them as natural lubrication for the brain-eye connection. ALA in walnuts strengthens the endothelial lining of blood vessels, allowing smoother blood flow and better oxygen delivery. It also shields nerve fibers from oxidative stress, those tiny bursts of molecular damage that quietly age your tissues, and keeps the microscopic capillaries in your eyes open and responsive. It's like giving your entire visual system an oil change for clarity, flushing out what's stagnant and restoring clean, smooth function to your neurons and vessels. But the magic doesn't stop there. Because the same circulation that nourishes your eyes also fuels your brain, the benefits extend to mental clarity, mood, and memory. In fact, research has shown that people who regularly eat walnuts perform better on memory and focus tests, especially as they age. Omega-3s help neurons communicate more efficiently, reducing mental fog and supporting calm, balanced neurotransmitter activity. I'll never forget one of my patients, June, 72 years old. She was an artist, a painter who had always seen color as her language. But over time, she said the world began to look dull. Her eyes felt tired, and she'd given up painting altogether. We made one small change, just a handful of walnuts in the evening, a few times a week before bed. Nothing extreme. 3 weeks later, she walked into my office smiling, holding a small painting of sunflowers. The colors were vibrant again, and so was she. "I feel like my eyes woke up," she said softly. That's the quiet, profound power of giving your brain and your eyes the right fuel at the right time. Because when you restore what's missing, circulation, healthy fats, oxygen, your body remembers exactly how to heal itself. If walnuts connect the brain and the eyes, then pistachios are the quiet guardian standing at the gate, shielding them from daily damage, especially the kind caused by modern light. These bright green gems aren't just delicious snacks. They're loaded with two remarkable pigments, lutein and zeaxanthin, that work like natural sunglasses for your eyes. Every time you scroll through your phone, watch television, or sit under artificial lighting, your eyes are exposed to intense blue wavelengths that gradually exhaust the retina. Over time, this constant exposure begins to thin and weaken the macula, the small, golden spot in the back of your eye responsible for sharp, central vision. Lutein and zeaxanthin step in like a shield. They absorb and neutralize the most damaging parts of that blue light before it ever reaches the macula. They don't just reduce glare, they preserve your ability to see color, detail, and depth with clarity. Here's the catch: your body cannot make these nutrients on its own. You have to bring them in through food, and pistachios are one of the only nuts that naturally contain both lutein and zeaxanthin, perfectly paired with healthy fats that improve how your body absorbs them. In fact, this combination is almost like nature's design: pigments to protect and fats to deliver them right where they're needed most. Regular intake of pistachios helps your eyes adapt more easily to changes in light, improves contrast when reading or driving, and can slow the progression of age-related macular degeneration, the #1 cause of vision loss in adults over 60. I remember one of my patients, Harold, 68 years old. He came to me frustrated and discouraged. "Doctor, everything looks dimmer now. I can't drive at night, the headlights blind me." We made one small change, a handful of pistachios before bed, paired with a cup of warm chamomile tea. 2 months later, Harold called with a smile in his voice. "I'm back behind the wheel again, and the lights don't hurt anymore." That moment reminded me of something powerful. The body responds quickly when we give it the right tools. Even after decades of wear, your eyes can begin to heal from the inside out. That's the beauty of pistachios: tiny, humble, and quietly working every night to protect your vision from the world's brightest light. Have you ever noticed red, irritated eyes in the morning? That dry, sandy feeling that doesn't fade, no matter how much rest you get? You blink, rub them gently, maybe even reach for eye drops, and for a few minutes, it helps. But then, the burning returns. That's not just dryness. That's inflammation, your body's silent alarm system telling you something deeper is out of balance. You see, inflammation is like a slow fire. It doesn't always hurt, but it quietly damages the fragile tissues of your cornea and retina. Over time, that heat disrupts tear production, breaks down collagen, and leaves your eyes vulnerable to fatigue, light sensitivity, and even blurred focus. Now, here's what most people never hear from their doctors. One of the most overlooked nutrients for calming that fire is selenium. Selenium isn't some rare supplement. It's a natural trace mineral found abundantly in one simple food: Brazil nuts. They're one of nature's most concentrated sources. Just 1 or 2 nuts a day can completely meet your body's selenium needs. And this small mineral does something extraordinary. It helps your body recycle and reactivate vitamin E, the antioxidant that shields the fatty membranes of your eye cells from oxidative stress. Think of it like this. Vitamin E is the firefighter, and selenium is the oxygen tank that keeps that firefighter working longer. Without it, your eye tissues stay inflamed, tired, and constantly under attack. Selenium also supports your tear glands, encouraging balanced moisture production, so your eyes stay hydrated naturally, not just coated with artificial drops. I remember one of my longtime patients, Walter, a 74-year-old retired teacher. A kind, thoughtful man who loved reading history books, but told me he'd started carrying bottles of artificial tears everywhere he went. It feels like my eyes are made of sand, Dr. Ray. I can't even finish a chapter without discomfort. When we reviewed his diet, it became clear he wasn't getting enough selenium. So I made one small suggestion: add one Brazil nut to his nightly routine, no pills, no complicated plan. Just one nut before bed. A month later, he walked into my office smiling. "My eyes feel quiet again," he said. "I don't reach for drops anymore." It's like the irritation finally went to sleep. That moment stayed with me because it showed just how powerful nature can be when you listen to it. The truth is, your eyes aren't asking for more medicine, they're asking for balance. And sometimes, that balance begins with something as simple as one Brazil nut, small enough to fit in your palm, strong enough to calm the inflammation that's been wearing down your vision for years. By the time we reach our 60s and 70s, the eyes lose not only their sharpness, but also something even more essential: collagen. Collagen is the invisible framework that holds your eyes together. It gives the cornea its smooth curve, keeps the lens clear, and allows the delicate blood vessels around your eyes to stay flexible. When collagen begins to break down, your eyes slowly lose their firmness, their moisture, and their resilience. That's when you start to notice it: that subtle dryness in the morning, the blurry vision after reading, or the way your eyes take longer to adjust from bright light to dim rooms. This isn't just getting older. It's a sign that your eyes are thirsty, hungry, even for nourishment at the cellular level. And that's where hazelnuts come in. These small, earthy nuts are packed with vitamin E, one of nature's most powerful fat-soluble antioxidants. Unlike water-based vitamins that pass quickly through the body, vitamin E settles into the cell membranes, especially those made of delicate fatty tissue like your eyes, forming a natural shield against damage. Vitamin E does three beautiful things at once. It protects the fragile membranes around the cornea from oxidative stress, locks in moisture so your eyes stay comfortable throughout the day, and slows the breakdown of collagen, preserving the strength and elasticity of your vision's foundation. I'll never forget Lydia, 69, a retired teacher who came to me almost in tears, not from emotion, but from her eyes. "They water all the time, doctor," she said. "People think I'm crying." Her eyes weren't overwatering at all. They were too dry. Her body was desperately trying to compensate by flooding her eyes with reflex tears that offered no real lubrication. We made just a few gentle adjustments, added a small handful of hazelnuts before bed, encouraged steady hydration through the day, and cut back slightly on caffeine, which dehydrates the eyes. 3 weeks later, Lydia walked into my office smiling, mascara perfectly in place. "I can finally look people in the eyes again," she said. That simple shift changed everything: her comfort, her confidence, even how she carried herself. And that's what happens when vitamin E and healthy fats restore the balance your eyes have been quietly asking for. Hazelnuts may look ordinary, but inside each one is a concentrated blend of antioxidants and nourishing oils, the exact materials your eyes need to stay clear, hydrated, and strong long after 60. When you pair them with the other healing nuts we've discussed, you create something far greater than a snack. You build a nightly shield for your vision. Now that you know the 4 key nuts, here's how to make them work while you sleep. Because nighttime is when your body repairs itself, but only if you give it the right tools. Your evening vision ritual takes 5 minutes. About 1 hour before bed, prepare a small bowl. 3 to 4 walnuts for brain-eye connection. 6 to 8 pistachios for retinal protection. 1 Brazil nut for inflammation control. 5 to 6 hazelnuts for moisture and collagen. Drink a cup of unsweetened chamomile or lemon balm tea to help absorption and relaxation. No screens, no bright light, just calm. This isn't a diet trick. It's a signal to your body that it's time to heal. And when you repeat it nightly, your eyes start to respond. My patients often tell me, I wake up without that gritty, dry feeling. My vision feels rested. That's the power of small, consistent acts of care. One of the most inspiring stories came from Richard, 76, a retired mechanic. He told me he couldn't see street signs clearly anymore. Even the smile on his granddaughter's face looked like a blur. We started the same nightly routine, just real food and mindful habits. 3 weeks later, he called me, his voice brighter than ever. She waved at me on video, and I saw her whole face again. That moment, seeing his granddaughter's smile, reminded me why I do this. It's not about food alone. It's about giving people back their connection to the world. Your age doesn't define your vision. Your past habits don't erase your potential to heal. You can start tonight, and your body will listen. So let's recap. Peanuts, walnuts fuel the brain-eye connection. Herb pistachios defend against blue light damage. Chestnut Brazil nuts calm inflammation and dryness. Chocolate bar hazelnuts preserve collagen and moisture. For humble foods, one simple ritual, profound results. Try this for a few weeks and pay attention to how your mornings feel. Notice the brightness, the calm, the confidence. Because healing doesn't begin in a clinic. It begins in your kitchen, in your routine, in the quiet choices you make for yourself. If this message helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. You never know who needs this gentle reminder that their body is still capable of healing. I'm Dr. Allison Ray, and every night is a new chance to restore what time has taken. Take care of your eyes. They are the windows through which you keep seeing life itself.